Thank you, Ethan. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I think we've got a few on the call, a few people I may have met before, a few I haven't. I'll do introductions in a moment, but I just wanted to just give you a flavour of who Sika are to Breedon, so some of you may know that. We do supply all your additives that go into your concrete, but above and beyond that, we aim to work in partnership with you. So I'll explain to you over the next few slides what Sika do for Breedon and how we work together. Just to give you a flavour of the size of Sika, so there's our office footprint in the UK. Over 1,000 employees, over 27,000 employees worldwide, £360 million turnover in the UK, which is around, I think, 7.6, I think, billion worldwide. So large organisation, but we're focusing on you today. We do a wide range of products and services. These are probably the ones that are most relevant to you, and we're just going to talk about concrete and waterproofing today, but we do building finishes, renders, cladding, all that sort of stuff. Waterproofing can come in multiple forms, including the big tunnel you see there is a membrane, lots of different roofing systems that we do, floor finishes, resin finishes, abrasion resistance, lots of sealing and bonding, lots of refurbishment work, and industries, things like your car window may be bonded in by one of our materials or something like that. But we're going to focus on concrete and waterproofing today. For yourselves, so the way the partnership works between Sika and Breedon is there are two. Oh, just admit somebody in, sorry. There are two key account managers in there. So Ian leads the account and I support him. So Ian predominantly looks after the north and I look after the south. And then Gordon and Graham provide technical support. So above and beyond just supplying additives, we will bring you leads and prospects from a commercial point of view. We'll look after the customer service, but technically also we do a lot of work with you, which I'll explain a little bit further. But all four of us are solely dedicated to your account. So we had a workshop last year with you. We've appointed some champions within both business to work on it. So in your side, it's Josh Burke and Emily Ferguson. There's a shared workspace on Teams where that is starting to develop further, where there's lots of technical support in there, mainly dedicated to your more technical team. The reason we're here today is upskilling. So Sika has a lot of technical expertise. It has a lot of products and services that we're able to support with. We do basics concrete. We're doing watertight concrete today. And then we've committed to do a Titan, which is microsilica, abrasion resistant concrete, and Breedon Flow modules. And they will be in our knowledge centre as well, which I think Aoife explained you can log in there. Do a lot of work on mix optimization, reducing cement, reducing the carbon, reducing waste, large amount of value in there. I'll explain to you a couple more projects that we've got going on the next slide. Anything we can do to reduce packaging. We do a lot of deliveries by bulk tanker, bring back some of the buckets and recycle them where possible, or just in the production of the material. Again, open invite if anybody ever wants to come down to the factory. If you let us know, you can see what's going up and down there. It's an amazing facility we've got down at Welwyn Garden City. Any new products and development, we work with a number of different universities. We work with Sika worldwide, and we work with you guys developing new products. In terms of talent development, bit of training today, obviously, and support there, but you're welcome if you ever want to come over to one of our labs or facilities to see how we do things. We've committed to sort of open invite there. Joint R&D we've discussed. We've got a carbon training module hoping to come up later in the year, working with your teams. And the recover system at the bottom there is a recovery and recycling system that we're just exploring if that will add value to Breedon. So it recycles material and recycles some cementitious material. So those are some of the things we're ongoing with. When you spin that into reality, 621 lab trials last year. So if you need any technical support, a customer wants a product to go off quicker, wants it to go off slower, you've got difficult to work with materials, you want to save cement, then go to your technical teams or come to us directly because we can support you with that. One of the products we've got in development, the product in the middle there, the super plasticizer, that has potential to save you a large amount of money. So it helps achieve the same strength with less water, ultimately less cement, and that makes a massive cost saving to you. We've also got additives coming through that can even keep a product life open, make it go off quicker, make the Welsh slate something you can use elsewhere. So those are some of the things that are done in the lab. So we don't just fill the tanks up, we do a lot beyond that. Okay. We'll share this with you. It was something that was requested by one of the champions at the last meeting was we face lots of challenges. You've got lots of products, but it's confusing which product does what. I completely understand that. I'm relatively new to Sika, and it was a bit of a baptism of fire understanding all the products. So on the left there is the challenge, and on the right is the solution. So we're going to look at watertight concrete today, but if you want a long open life in hot conditions, then you would be looking at a retarder. If you're wanting the concrete to go off early in cold conditions, you're looking at an accelerator. If you're wanting to reduce shrinkage, Sika Control 40. If you want a power float mix with decent paste in the surface, then you're looking at the Viscofeet 150 PF. We'll share that with you. But any and all of these challenges we can match with a product. Okay. So that bit there is I suppose the more generic bit, and the bit we're going to dive into today is waterproofing protection. So what are the types, where will it be used, how might you spot and deal with an opportunity, and what do we do with it? And there's an important bit, and I will emphasize it as we go through. If we don't know about it, we can't provide the support, we can't provide the warranty. As Eva said, any questions, pop them in the chat. If they're really burning ones, Ian will shout them out. If not, we'll leave them to the end. Okay. So we're going to talk about three forms of protection here, and then we'll go into the sort of focus on concrete. So first form can be a barrier. So it's a membrane, it's thick, durable membrane, it's glued or welded, bonded together. It can go on either side of the concrete, predominantly on the outside, and that creates a physical barrier. That can be used in conjunction with concrete. So oftentimes you'll need a two-tier system. Don't worry about that. We'll worry about that, but that is what can be available. The concrete itself can be made watertight, so that's what we're going to focus on mainly today. Or you can choose to just deal with the water on the outside and place a cavity drain in, so it allows the water to percolate to the bottom and is drained away. But our main focus today is the concrete. So it's useful for you to know these things exist, but really all we're trying to get to today is understand the nature of the projects that it might be required to be waterproofed and how you might get in touch with us. There is another module that builds on this that will explain a little bit more. Okay, so this video is actually embedded in your website. Again, the link will be in there. It's about 2 minutes long. It will show you some of the ancillary products that support the jointing, stop any crack control, any of the tie bar holes. You don't necessarily need to know those at this point, just know they're there, and then we'll talk a bit more about concrete. So I'm just going to launch the video, hopefully. Famous last words. Right, let's go. Okay. So that video, like I said, is embedded in your website, and we'll send you the link anyway. So there are elements in there where you don't necessarily need to know about the different jointing systems and things like that, but it's useful to know that they exist. Um, the concrete structure there you'll see is obviously built up in panels. Where it's joined together, we need to be able to deal with that join, and those are some of the things that are in there. But really all you need to perhaps understand today is that's the typical structure, a typical basement structure. That's how we would waterproof it with a single system, which is just concrete. Membranes and things can go on the back, but that's for us to worry about, not you. So really what I was wanting you to see there is that as the concrete hydration process takes place, there are holes left in the concrete. That's why water can get through it. Okay, so as the concrete cures, hydrates, it leaves pores behind, water can make its way through. So either of our products block those pores, either a straight pore blocker or a crystalline system that grows into the pores. Both really, really easy to apply. So they're just small bagged products applied in the back of the truck at the plant. So just order from us, either call us or it can be ordered online through our e-shop. Those products can be quickly delivered to you within 2 to 3 days, and that's all that's really required at the plant. So this is really simple. You spot the opportunity, you share it with us, we work on it. Simple mix design on the system, and away we go. So those are the two products. The top one is by far the more prevalent one bag per meter, similar size to a crisp packet, in the back of the truck. Okay, so just trying to illustrate to you now where you might actually find or where there might be a need for watertight concrete or a waterproofed structure. So it's really any building with something, an element of the structure below ground. So that could be a lift pit, which isn't always immediately apparent, but with every lift, there needs to be a pit beneath it, and that pit is below ground, or the plant machinery is below ground, or any kind of below ground stories, car parks, plant stores, laundry rooms, bin rooms, cycle stores, things like that could be below ground. So you'll find those in hotels, apartments, office blocks. Again, lifts, very likely to be present in a nursing home. There may be some wet areas in there, so they will need some below ground material, which will need waterproofing. Car parks, I don't know whether that strikes you as obvious or not, but the car park will have below ground stories, and or it might need some of the various decks waterproofing in between. Can be huge, large structures. Again, if you spot these, we just want to know about them and we can work on them. Hospitals, similar to care homes, any public building 2 stories or higher now has to have a lift in it. So there's going to be a high likelihood there'll be a lift pit in there, maybe some wet areas, maybe some below ground areas. And depending on the structure, there might be some complicated elements in there that need thick concrete walls, which we can also help with. Larger shopping centres, there's going to be a lift. They're going to want to use their space well. They may have storerooms below ground. They may have stories below ground. It's likely that the cost per square metre is high, so they're really going to want to maximise that by using as much of the ground as they can. And unfortunately, none of these are mine. Large houses, large dwellings, we see quite a lot of them. It could be a new build, could be an existing old building. See lots of sort of gyms, saunas, swimming pools and things like that that do require some watertight concrete in there. So examples, you've got swimming pools, bridge decks, aquariums. Obviously, I've not come across a lot of aquariums, but they're going to need waterproofing. And then data centers. So data center tends to need to be vapor proofed. So again, that's something we worry about, not you, but it will have, if it's below ground, it will need to be vapor proof, which needs the watertight concrete plus a membrane system. But again, we design that, so it's not for you to worry about. And then retaining walls may not want water to egress through that wall. So anything like that, or anything where you hear these keywords, that's as simple as we're really trying to get out today. You think about those structures, or you hear basement, lift pit, retaining wall, We do talk about the British standard a little bit in the more advanced training. It is BS 8102. Again, that might go in one ear and out the other, but that's the standard for waterproofing any below ground or anybody mentions waterproof. There are other systems out there. We are your primary supplier, so the part of the agreement is that you always quote for our product and let us know. But if you hear any of these Zypex, Pudlo recently, unfortunately, have fallen into administration. If you've got any projects, even if they're started, do let us know, because we have supported some contractors even when the project has started, because they find themselves in a very difficult position. Fosrock, Caltite, proof, or if the customer is saying that's any part of the structure below ground. Okay, so what to do when you've spotted that opportunity? So if you're sufficiently knowledgeable, Breedon Aquatight is on your system. It's just quote the Aquatight mix. If you need help, ask internally or get in touch with us. But then the next step of this is we now need to support the contractor. And if they wish to get the full warranty, we need to come in and support at this stage. So once you've quoted, if you can pass over to us, if you want to put on the bottom of the quote our details as well, so they can get in touch directly. We need to know as much as we can about this project. So the contacts, the project name, how much it is, starts, ends, what needs waterproofing, and if anything's been specified. And then we'll work with and track that opportunity. So not only do we keep track of it, what we will then do is contact that client and produce a specification. Now, this is a simple drawing of a lift pit. We can do far more complicated things, but it's just a real simple drawing explaining where those watertight water bars need to go in, or the joints, what needs to have watertight concrete in, which products they will require. And that will allow them to do the takeoff, buy their materials, and understand what they need to do. So it can be as simple as a lift pit. It could be a big basement. That kickstarts our process with them that helps provide the warranty. Again, all you've done at this stage is quote for Breedon Aquatight and passed us the details. We will then provide site support. So that specification goes to the client. We'll provide toolbox talks on site and inspections. Post application, we will go and do an inspection, and if all is well and they follow the correct process, the project gets issued a warranty. So it goes to the structure. It stays with the structure for 15 years. So really what we need from you is you pass that over. All you've had to do at this stage is spot it, quote Breedon Aquatight, we'll do the rest. We'll specify Breedon Aquatight on the specification as well. So it's your project, your product that is specified in there. Okay. So that was fairly simple. Really spot it, quote it, let us know. We'll do all the legwork. We'll support the site, and if all that's in place, there's a warranty available for them. And all you're doing is supplying the concrete. One bag of the WT 100 in the back of the truck per cube. It's really, really simple. So we will send some supporting information out to you. There's a brochure. We'll send this document out here that explains what the different products do. You can access our knowledge center. So you can see these are marked complete. So it's the basics of concrete. There's a module on there explaining concrete. And then there's an introduction to watertight concrete. There's a one-page document that will give you an idea of where might you find the concrete, how do you spot it, how do you deal with it, and what we do, and we'll share that with you. And I think, yeah, that brings us to the questions section. I don't know if there's any questions on there, Ian, you want to just shout out?
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. Thanks for that good
problem.
insight into the watertight concrete products that we can supply. There is just one question that was raised by Ellen O'Neill. Hi, Ellen. Good to see that you've joined the webinar. And she was just asking about whether we could forward a copy of the watertight video to her for her CPD presentations. That should actually be the updated version on the Breedon website, Ellen. So if you go onto the Breedon website, products and services, look at the ready mix concrete section and waterproof concrete. That should take you to the actual video on that page. If it's not the updated version, when you look at that, if you contact me, I'll obviously speak to Aoife and she can engage with April Kuzner, who's your head of marketing, and we can get that updated. But I do believe it is the updated version. But if, like I say, if that's not the case, Ellen, please let me know and we'll get that sorted. So that's the only question we've got in the chat. Has anybody else got any other questions on the presentation or anything else that we might be able to answer?
I'm assuming we've just done such a good job that there's no questions, but hopefully it is really simple. It's really, really simple. If you spot an opportunity, quote Breedon Aquatight and let us know, and then all the hard work is done by us. The order comes back your way. Obviously, you're making a bit more margin on your special products. It's difficult times at the moment finding volume. You can certainly find some margin on it. So I think Ellen's just typing, so we just wait for that one to come in. So sorry, on the chat I can see that Ellen's just typing. So if we just bear with Ellen 1 second and just see what comes through on there. If you do have any projects that you think are about to go live that you think, oh goodness, I haven't shared them with Sika, if you could let us know as soon as possible, because if we can get on site quick, we may be able to do those inspections. What we don't want is and it happens every now and again, somebody rings up for a warranty and it's the first time we've heard of it.
Yeah, so Ellen's questions about giving scenarios where WT100, the pore blocker, would be used as opposed to the 200. And really, it's down to the architects and engineers' discretion in terms of which product they want to use on their project. So obviously, as Anthony explained, the WT100, that works as a pore blocker. So that is actually working within the concrete as it's placed. Once the structure's placed, the pores where the free water evaporates from actually get blocked by the product, and therefore the barrier is in place straight away. With the 200, it's the crystalline version, so that's what's classed as a self-healing, where basically it starts to work when water comes into contact to the surface of the concrete, because that then activates the crystals to start growing across the pores that may exist in the dense concrete that you've got there. So it really is down to the discretion of the architect engineer and the type of structure that they're building and what they feel is the best form of defense in terms of the integral waterproofing in the concrete as part of the system. So that's really, you know, the difference between them. What you'll find is that most of our competitors will provide one or the other. So we, through yourselves, can offer the alternative. They can have the pore blocker or they can have the crystalline system as an alternative. Hopefully that answers your question, Ellen. But if not, if you need any more technical information, we'll probably cover that on the advanced Breedon Aquatight webinar. Yeah, so we've got a comment from James Tomlin, and I'm guessing that's Alan Griffiths, where they're saying that their standard is the WT100 in Yorkshire. Like I say, it's down to the architects, engineers, what they design. But
yeah, I think
the beauty.
as I mentioned earlier, any product our competitor can do, we can do, and I think some of this is that this was a standalone product for one of our competitors. And so it's if that's specified, we go, well, yeah, we can do exactly the same. Whereas the WT100 is more of the standard offering. I say it's what, probably 85–90% of what goes out is this one.
Yeah, Ellen's typing again.
Yep, we've done that. Yeah, I'd say it's 85–90% is the WT100. It's the sort of standard go-to one. Cool.
How many? So James and Alan have put, how many people quote Aquatight? Well, actually, it's yourselves that will quote the Breedon Aquatight. That is your branded product. Most specifications will come through as a waterproofing system or watertight concrete. They might specify Sika Watertight. They could specify one of our competitor products, as Anthony's highlighted. What we're looking to do is we're looking to support you to convert that to a branded product for yourself. And again, this comes up, another question that's come up from James and Alan is that the reason that they ask is it's a proprietary product and you don't offer mixed composition. This is where watertight concrete slightly different, because a proprietary product for yourselves is where you've designed the mix and you've designed the ingredients that are in that, and you want to retain the knowledge of that. When you think about a watertight system, there's actually a specification that has to be met. So it has to be a minimum cement content of 350 kgs and a water cement ratio of 0.45. Therefore, it's not a proprietary concrete because it's specified within that. Yes, it's a branded product of yours, but it's not a proprietary product in that respect. And I think if you speak to, the majority of your technical people, they'll confirm that, and I know where you're going down the route of providing a mix design, which is needed as part of the warranty process. That can be offered as a Breedon Aquatight product, and we've done that in other parts of the country with Breedon. So it's not an issue. Like I say, because it's a specified product with the minimum cement content and water cement ratio, that kind of takes it outside of that proprietary product bracket. And we have issued Breedon Aquatight mix designs as part of a warranty in the past. Okay.
Where I've come across that one, so we need the mix design to approve you've got your bit right, but we never share that to the client. On the odd occasion where Breedon have been unwilling to share the mix design directly, probably for that situation, we just issue a letter saying it's compliant, and that seems to deal with it. So some areas of Breedon will share the mix design, other areas won't. So we would never share any information with the client unless you've authorized it. So all we do is send a letter saying it's completely compliant. One thing we do a lot in the background as well is we will go out and engage with architects, engineers, specifiers, and then we'll come to you with leads and opportunities that we already know about. Equally, anything that you know about, if you come to us, then we're basically trying to come at it from both ends. So we can specify the product in advance, or if you've already quoted, then we can sort of circle back round and speak to the customer, specify it. Okay, I think we've no other ones coming back in, so I think it's back over to Aoife, if that's all right.
Thanks, Anthony, and thank you all for engaging in the Q&A session. We hope today's been of value for you. As we've previously highlighted, I will send out a follow-up email which will have a survey to give us your feedback on how you felt today went. It's really important to us that you fill that in, because we want to improve these webinars to make sure that we're giving you what you need. Our intention throughout this year is to do multiple webinars on different products. So we are looking at the Breedon Titan and the Breedon Flow later on in the year. So any feedback you can give us would be greatly appreciated. The email will also have links to sign up to the Breedon Knowledge Centre and or log in if you already are. And we will also be sending out those support materials that Anthony showed on a previous slide. Finally, we already have another webinar in the diary, which is for the Breedon Aquatight Advanced session on the 11th of April. This one will go into more detail on below ground waterproofing, the British Standard, and the different types of waterproofing. So it will touch a bit more on those ancillary products and the membranes that Sika offers as well. Please sign up to this if you want to know more, and spread the word to your colleagues if you feel it will be of value to them. We will be sending some more emails regarding that one for sign up, etc. And once again, I just want to thank you for your time today, and I hope to see you at the next webinar.